Roxo Media House.
From the Roxo Media House studios here in Fort Worth, Texas, this is Frogs Today. Football is on a 2-game win streak, climbing up the Big 12 standings, and a tie for 4th with Cincinnati at 3-2 with their 35-34 win over Texas Tech on homecoming last week. Baylor is up next for the Carter Boys in Waco tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Quarterback Josh Hoover was named to the Davey O'Brien QB class of 2024. Women's soccer is unbeaten over the past 12 games and on a 6-game win streak, and was crowned Big 12 regular season champions with their 2-0 shutout win over Oklahoma State. Postseason conference awards are littered with Horned Frogs, and the number 1 seed takes on number 9 Colorado tomorrow. Men's basketball kicks off their season with a charity exhibition tonight at Dickies Arena as Arkansas and John Calipari come to town. Tip-off is set for 7 p.m. The event supports Cook's Children's Hospital. Volleyball holds at number 18 with another Big 12 sweep over Colorado on Wednesday and hosts Iowa State tonight. The Frogs continue their efficiency as they sit at 15-5 and third in the Big 12 at 7-3. The number 23 ranked women's golf team hosted the Charles Schwab Women's Collegiate Invitational at Ridgely Country Club Monday and Tuesday with a top 5 finish at number 4, led by 5 players in the top 20 individually. Number 3 Equestrian wraps up their fall season at number 2 Texas A&M, and your men's and women's cross-country teams look to continue their historic season at the Big 12 Championships in Waco this morning. It's Friday, November 1st, and this is your Manager Special, and I'm your host, Bella Tankersley, manager of the TCU men's tennis team.
And I'm Olivia Tankersley with men's tennis as well. We wish our teams in action today the best of luck, from cross-country at the Big 12 Championships to women's tennis hosting the J Foundation Fall Open, which started yesterday, to our volleyball and men's basketball teams tonight, and our women's swim and dive team taking on Arkansas at TCU today.
The Purple White World Series continues for baseball in Game 3 of the Purple and White World Series today at 3:30 p.m. with the annual alumni softball game to follow at 7 p.m.
Rosters can be found at gofrogs.com on the baseball page. Our men's golf team is halfway across the globe in Hawaii at the Canopoli Classic in Maui tomorrow through Monday.
Let's not forget rifle as Katie Zahn looks to take her perfect score from last week into their home openers against Nebraska tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m. We start with football and women's soccer, where we return, but first, a word from our sponsor, Richard's Rainwater. The best tasting water comes straight from the sky, leaving just pure, refreshing raindrops in every bottle. Taste the difference, sip the sky.
What do you see when you look up at the clouds? At Richard's Rainwater, we see the greatest source of pure, delicious water looking right back down at us. We've invented a simple, powerful technology to collect and bottle rainwater. Our process begins with the rain. When clouds become saturated, droplets fall from the sky. Rainfall is a naturally cleansing event. During the first few minutes, the raindrops clean the atmosphere and wash away any dirt or debris from surface areas. At this cleanest point in the rain cycle, we collect the pure raindrops into large storage vessels. Then, we use a simple, yet effective combination of ozone and microfiltration to ensure our rainwater surpasses the highest drinking water standards. We pour the pure, refreshing rainwater into glass bottles and aluminum cans, packaging as infinitely renewable as the water itself. Richard's Rainwater is building a network of collection systems across the country to ensure our rainwater is local everywhere. The purest, best-tasting water comes from the sky. Richard's Rainwater, sip the sky.
We are back in the Roxo Media House studios here in Fort Worth, and I'm your host, Bella Tankersley, manager of the TCU men's tennis team. Football is back on track, moving up the Big 12 standings with the 35-34 win over Texas Tech on homecoming last week. Josh Hoover threw for 344 yards and 3 touchdowns, with wide receiver Savion Williams leading the way with the rushing touchdown and an 84-yard grab as well. Hoover and Williams were on set of our post-game show following the game.
The running back moving me in the backfield was kind of something not new, because in high school I played quarterback, and my coach recruited me out of high school when I was playing quarterback, so he knew what I could do. So it felt good, honestly. People usually, like last year, like we had a whole bunch of new transfers and everything come, and people get here and only want to come to do things and leave the next year. This year is totally different. It feels like 5 years ago or 4 years ago, like where everybody's together. I mean, like if you in the locker room every day with us, you will feel like we all brothers, like blood brothers or something like that. But yeah, we all tight.
Yeah, Savion, he's I don't even know if you can begin to describe Savion. He's so versatile. just the heart and the character that he plays with. He's a huge part of our offense, and I love that guy to death. He's tough as can be. He's just a big old horse out there and just takes over. So I love that dude. He makes so many plays, and he never quits fighting. Never has a negative attitude about anything. Just shows up, does his work, and is a great teammate, great guy, great father, great guy to be around. Love him to death.
My goal is to win. That's it. That is it. That's all I want to do is win.
Hoover, now in top 10 nationally in yards passing and touchdowns, was named to the Davey O'Brien quarterback class of 2024, which means he's an official candidate for the National Quarterback Award. He is 5th in passing yards with 2,614 and 8th nationally with 19 touchdown passes. Head coach Sonny Dykes talked about his quarterback on his State of the Frogs coaches show this week.
Yeah, thought Josh played well, really do. I think the thing that's kind of plagued us at times this year is we turned the ball over. But I think, beyond that, I thought he really did a good job of hanging in there. Thought Kendall Browse did a good job as well. Because, once you get started as fast as we did and then you hit a lull, sometimes it's hard to get that mojo back. And to Kendall and their offensive staff's credit, those guys just kept plugging away and stayed positive. And our players, I think, fed off of their positive energy and were able to make those plays in the second half.
The Frogs overcame a 17-point deficit in the second half, even though the third quarter didn't start as well as they wanted.
It was an interesting game of, I wouldn't say two halves, game of two quarters, or four quarters, really. It was, got off to a great start, went up 14-3, and then, had a kind of a lull there. The Tech scored 28 unanswered, and then we were able to close the game out, scoring 21. So it was what we needed to do to have a chance to win. Loved the way we came out and took it to them early in the game. We had a couple of big plays early on. Savion had a nice touchdown run and then had a big touchdown reception to kind of get us off to a fast start. And then really the last three possessions of the game, we really moved the ball well and were able to score points. But the big thing that allowed us to come back was getting those key stops defensively. We had to hold them to a field goal there to stay within three possessions, and we were able to do it. And I thought the offense and defense all kind of complemented each other. And when we do that, we have a chance to have a good football team. And, the key for us now is to try to play that way for four quarters and just keep improving and keep getting better. But again, love the way our guys finished. It took a lot of heart and character to do that. And you don't win a game like that if you don't have kids that care about each other and want to keep battling.
The Frogs forced a fumble as the Red Raiders were driving late in the fourth quarter, and while in field goal range, defensive lineman Hakeem Ajijalaya knocked the ball loose and recovered by Marcus Steele and joined Frogs today after the game.
I got to just give it to my teammates. Throughout the day, they just believe in me, especially the defensive guys. They just believe in me to make plays, and I'm glad they kept believing in me, or I wouldn't have made that play. I just got to give my hats up to my teammates. It brings a lot of energy, especially a game like this, one within one possession, because we know what the Big 12 is. We know how we got to win games. It's going to be with one possession. It's going to be the grit that we have in that locker room. It's just the guys. As soon as we band together, I don't think nobody can stop us. As soon as we band together, you call it a rough pass, we call it what we know not to do now. You feel me? It's not. It's the guys on that team. The energy never dies down on that sideline. We believe in ourselves, and I believe in my brothers like no other. To know, okay, yeah, let's go strap up, let's go win this game, and that's what it is. We just know what it takes now. Like, we're a different team. Like, we play with a different type of mentality, a different type of energy. You can see that when you strap it up on the field, that's all.
Up next for the Frogs is the Baylor Bears, who have won 2 straight as well.
Yeah, so we're going to face a good Baylor team that's kind of hot right now. You go and you look at, their last 5 games. They get off to a little bit of a slow start in the conference. They, lost on the road against Iowa State, on the road against Colorado. We're in both of those games late in the games, and and Iowa State's one of the 2 undefeated teams, and they really played well in that game. Had Colorado beat. Colorado had to throw a Hail Mary to send the game in overtime and cause a Baylor fumble in order to win that game, and then really played well against BYU at home. Same thing late in the second half. They were right there with BYU. Then after that, they go to Texas Tech and they get on a run. They scored 59 points and blew Tech out, and then really played well this past week against Oklahoma State. So we're playing a team that's got a lot of confidence. That's really kind of hot right now, and they're playing well on offense, playing well on defense, and they're one of the best teams in the country on special teams. And so they are a formidable opponent, and as I said, really hitting their stride as a football team.
Right. Their quarterback, Sawyer Robertson, a Mississippi State transfer, playing some pretty decent football.
Yeah, I've known Sawyer's dad and family for a long time. We actually recruited Sawyer as a potential transfer and left Mississippi State here. Felt like he had a chance to get on the field a little bit more quickly at Baylor, and it's worked out for him. He's a great kid, really hard worker. Is a good athlete, has done a nice job running their offense, incredibly efficient, has only turned the ball over 4 times all year, has done a really good job of that. He's also starting to run the ball, and they've been effective when he runs, and so he can scramble and convert some big third downs. They've run him a little bit on some design runs, and he's done a good job doing that, and has managed the football team really well, and I think that's a big part of the reason they're having so much success.
Right.
The big thing that they've done the last 2 weeks is run the football. They've run for right around 600 yards in the last 2 games, and so they're really starting to get the run game going. A lot of different running backs, 3 or 4 guys that they'll play at that position. They're all different and kind of unique in their skill set. Very impressed with their offensive line. And then when they throw the football, they've been very efficient throwing it. Sawyer right now is in the top 10 in the country in passing efficiency at the quarterback position. And so they're doing some really good things.
Right. TCU tight end Drake Dabney spent his first 4 years at Baylor, talks about going back to Waco, about going against his former teammates, and couldn't help but talk about the weapons on the offense for the Horned Frogs, and also putting together 4 quarters of football.
It's crazy to think about just like being on the other side of it after being there for 4 years. I'm sure the emotions may be up and down from other people, but I think it'll be great to see those guys again and be able to compete against them. They've been playing really good ball, a lot of great people on that staff and on that team, so just excited for the opportunity. Obviously, they have a lot of guys returning, a couple transfers, but a lot of those guys I've been, some of them going against for 4 years in practice, some of them 2 or 3. I've been able to help kind of them get a feel for what kind of players they are and what they like to do, what their strong points are, what their weak points are, and I'm just trying to give us any advantage we can to play our best ball Saturday night. We have just so many weapons when you look at the roster. I mean, between Savion, JP, Jack, Eric, like so many guys you can get the ball to. I think us kind of finding a role helps create more opportunities for those receivers, so they're not able to just key in on them all the time, and they still have to respect everybody. So I think if anything, it makes the offense better as a whole, and just opens up opportunities for everybody. Focusing on just our energy, how we come out. I mean, sideline energy is a big thing. I know we've been good on the road. It's been tight knit. Our focus has been there. I think just the mindset shifted. Like everything we want is still in front of us, and then obviously turnovers. That's a daily battle for us. We've been working on it every day at practice. Just trying to limit those turnovers and also create turnovers. We feel like if we come out the most excited, with the most energy and limit turnovers, I mean, there's really no one that can stop us. There's so much room for growth still. I think we've put together really good quarters where we can't be stopped. We feel like we're the best offense, best defense, best team in the country. And then we just have to focus on being more consistent, putting together 4 quarters. And I think the fact that we can still get out of these games with the win, even with having the turnovers or some of the mistakes, just shows like the fight and the grit in this team, which honestly can't be taught. Like all the other stuff can be corrected, that can be fixed in the film room, but the fight and the want-to that these guys have every Saturday, that can't be taught, and I think that's what makes this group really special.
Women's soccer was crowned Big 12 regular season champions last week with a 2-0 win at Oklahoma State for the 3rd time in 5 years, and head to Kansas City and CPKC Stadium, site of the Big 12 Championships and home of the National Women's Soccer League's KC Current. 10 players were highlighted on the Big 12 postseason award selections, led by Eric Bell as Coach of the Year for the 3rd time, Ollie Pena, Midfielder of the Year, and Bella Diorio, Forward of the Year. The 10 selections led the league, and the 6 first-team selections were the most in program history. Bell talks about the recognition.
When you're good, hopefully when you have good seasons, I guess I should say, then players typically get recognized, and we're fortunate enough to have good players, and we're fortunate enough to play, or we've been fortunate enough to win some games to be recognized, right? And hopefully that trend continues with all region selections and all American selections. But we're a talented group. We have some talented kids in our group. We play a pretty entertaining style of soccer, and I think all those things kind of lend itself hopefully to success. But there aren't any guarantees like last year, right? Still thought we played some pretty good soccer and didn't get the results that we're looking for. And now this season we're getting some better results with the same kids, and I think we're probably 1 year wiser than we were a year ago, and I think that the experience that we had last year has definitely transferred to this season's success.
Pena leads the Frogs in the Big 12 with 9 assists and is 8th nationally, and Diorio has 11 goals, tied with teammate Seven Castaigne. Pena talks individual performance in Big 12 tournament.
It's from our practices, like consistency is key. And then we just had a really good practice yesterday, and the coaches were like, if you practice like this every day, then, no one's going to be able to touch you guys. And we were like, yeah, like we practice. I think it's the practices that are like super important to how we play in our games. It's exciting. I'm super excited to get to play on that field, but again, super excited to play against Colorado again, just to show everyone that our game wasn't a fluke.
Castaigne, along with freshman Morgan Brown, Caroline Kelly, and defender Maddie Mooney, were tabbed first-teamers as well. Mooney helped anchor the back line with 7 shutouts and 8 additional games, have given away just 1 goal or less for a total of 15 games.
I think it's just like the selfless work ethic of everybody on the team, everybody on the field, everyone on the bench, and like specifically the back line, just like working for each other, covering each other, like literally, and just like being there for each other, picking each other up when you miss a tackle or you don't press correctly, just being all on the same page always. Well, we're a very possession-based team that's just like TCU soccer, specifically the center backs, like you said, and those holding mids. We have the ball at our feet, and we got to complete 95% of our passes in order for our team to be successful. And I think for me and Jenny specifically, when we're playing and we miss a pass, we're okay, get the next one. You can play it to me, and I know I can play it to her. If you just need to rebuild that confidence after you mess up a pass, and just kind of getting on that same page, being able to be consistent and also taking risks, but being safe as well, because we are the last line of defense.
At number 7 in the country currently, the number 1 seed Frogs take on number 9 Colorado tomorrow at 2 p.m. The Buffaloes defeated Utah 2-1 yesterday. Bell talks about the number 1 seed, the matchups, the venue, and the tournament as a whole. Is this the best team he has had since he has been at TCU?
Being the number 1 seed means we won the regular season, and that's awesome. That's always the goal, to be competing to win the regular season, to compete to win the Big 12 Championship or the tournament, as well as the NCAA tournament. And so these are the expectations and standards that we've set for the program. And we're fortunate enough to have a talented group of kids that were able to achieve the first step. Being able to play in this stadium is going to be awesome. And it's going to definitely put our conference in a different light, right? When I first got here, the first season was still in San Antonio, and then they moved it to Kansas City for 7 or 8 years. And then they moved it last a few years to Round Rock, and now it's back in Kansas City at a beautiful stadium to be able to showcase the soccer in our league. And so from that standpoint, it's awesome. I think that as it pertains to the tournament, we've been able to show some success over the years in the tournament, and I think I have a fantastic staff that allows us to be prepared for tournament play. And so we'll be ready for Colorado when Saturday comes, and hopefully we have a good performance. And again, like you said or alluded to, we take it 1 game at a time, and we don't take Colorado lightly. I know they're going to come out here with their hair on fire because of the result that we had the first game, and we got to be prepared for that, and we will be. And hopefully we're still able to make it into a game and play TCU soccer. But we'll take it 1 game at a time, and hopefully we're there for the long haul, where the kids are getting a lot of studying on the road, and we're eating out and getting some team bonding time, and spend a long time there in Kansas City. It's hard to compete with the 21 team, and so we'll see. I'll be able to answer that question when the season is over. But the 21 team, in my mind, was fantastic, and so I thought in my mind it was a Final Four team, and we just came up short.
The excitement and pride surrounding this team is evident, and the confidence the players carry with them in training and games.
I actually talked to Seven about this. She asked me what my mindset was going in. I was like, honestly, it's, like you said, the confidence that we've beaten these teams before. So having confidence that, one, we can beat them, but we can also beat them again. So just bringing that to the tournament, and just knowing that, walking out there, what Eric says, with swagger out there on the field.
I think we're very confident as a team, but also being grounded, staying humble. Our coaches do a great job of letting us know it's like celebrate your wins, but then turn the page. Like we've talked about, multiple girls on our team have talked about coming into this tournament like we're 0-0-0, and you got to prove yourself all over again because you've got no record going into this. So like, yes, there's confidence, but also like humility to it.
Just trusting one another. Like we practice so hard. Like it takes everyone to make us who we are on the field. Like I know not everyone gets to play, but it all comes into our games.
I think we're really excited and eager to just get after these teams again and stay for as long as we can.
It's not really us talking, like us seniors talking. It's more of us like having fun. Like Ryan always brings it up. He says, if we're not having fun, then we're not going to have a good game. We're not going to have a good practice. Like if we're not talking it up, joking around like this, I think this is just what the team has that makes us good in the practices games.
We're thinking like take it 90 minutes at a time. Like the last couple Big 12 games that were played yesterday, like goals were scored in the last like 15 minutes, which is like crazy to think about. So don't get too ahead of yourself. Like we can play good soccer and we can play good soccer for 90 minutes, and just like knowing that, being confident in that and playing like that is my mentality going into it. And like you said, one game at a time.
Jenny Imathan, Lauren Memely, Megan Palashko, and Cam Patton round out the All Big 12 selections. We'll be right back with Olivia talking volleyball and women's golf when we return. We will be right back.
You know, we wouldn't be able to do the things we were able to do this year without the Flying T Club. So we got to continue to get people involved. It's more important right now than it's ever been.
Flying T is special. It's the best thing that I've encountered in college. It allows us to be able to offset a lot of the costs that our scholarships aren't able to cover. If people like winning, invest in the Flying T Club and NIL. This is really great for athletes and just for future students who want to come here and be a part of something special, man. I just think it's great.
It just means a lot to us players to see all the sport, and it's huge.
We are back with our TCU Athletics Manager Special here at the Roxo Media House studios, and I'm Olivia Tankersley from men's tennis. Volleyball gets another sweep to kick off the 2-game week against Colorado on Wednesday night and take on Iowa State tonight in the Schollmeyer. It is a purple out and first serve is at 6:30 p.m. Head coach Jason Williams is happy about the efficiency of the win over Colorado, improving to 15-5 overall and 7-3 in conference.
Yeah, just super proud of, we talked about a couple of little adjustments we wanted to do after the Baylor match and try to get the middles a little more involved, and we were able to do that. And, Colorado still sided out pretty well on kind of medium pass stuff, which is something we're trying to work on to defend a little bit better there. But besides that, I felt like we pretty much dominated the rest of the match.
The response after the Baylor loss last week was good, and the opportunity to get additional players on the court and get in and out in 3 sets was impressive.
Yeah, that's huge for me, right? Like I've just seen too many sweeps turn into wins and losses in 5, right? And at home, we want to take care of business. You know, we have a legitimate shot of maybe finishing the season with only one loss at home to a highly ranked team. So it kind of is good, one, for just the way that we play at home, but 2, also because it shows the fans and the community, like, hey, if they're out here, they're helping us, play good volleyball. But we wanted to take care of business, but also at the same time, I wanted to work some potential, things of our game, some lineups that we might have to use down the road.
Newcomers Alexis Robertson and Alice Volpe were impressive on the night and talk about the win and their solid defensive performances. Robertson with her 3 blocks at the net and Volpe with a total of 20 digs and a career high.
So serve and pass was our main focus, and communicating the seams, just talking to each other, making sure that we know and we're confident when we're passing the ball, and I feel like we did a good job with that tonight.
I feel like we came in and we just know that we have bigger goals like past conference, and like taking every conference game as an opportunity to get better and fix the things we need to fix. And I think obviously, hey, we were working towards that, and the team was as well, and just coming together, it worked out. So.
And also coming off a loss, we really wanted to focus on going back to our standards, and so that was our goal for this game, just focusing on our side and playing TCU volleyball. I mean, I just really wanted to do it for my team, and I'm trying to get better so that I can make an impact, and yeah, that was just really it.
Williams mentioned that digs turn into opportunities to score when talking about Volpe on the evening.
Well, I mean, when you get digs, they turn into opportunities to score, right? That's, for me, like, I like the digs, but I like just killing the first time we get a chance. But the more digs you have, then there's just more chances to get big swings. She's just getting better every game too, right? She's getting more trained, and she's, again, just the reason why she's in the jersey now is because she makes good touches and her serve receive has been good. So honestly, if you would ask me without looking at the stats, I wouldn't have said she had 20 digs. So she got some good sneaky ones, and one with the setter dump late there, which was something we were talking about. So yeah, excited for her, and maybe next 3 setters she can have 25.
What does the preparation look like going into these final 8 games, and what is the conversation and mindset with the team and in the locker room? It's easy to look ahead, but must take it one game at a time.
Yeah, no, I had that conversation with the team earlier. I told them it's my job to look ahead, right? So I like to talk about just focusing on Colorado tonight, but I also want them to understand what the big picture is. So I explained it to them, like, we need to win all of our games at home. If we can beat Kansas on the road, we're in really, really good shape. But if not, yeah, if just say we take one loss the rest of the time, I think we're still in the conversation. So I kind of dangle that carrot of like, hey, we've got to take care of these next 3, right, whatever it takes. And I think they get it. I think I kind of balance that difference of like, hey, we're not looking past Colorado. We know Colorado can beat us any day of the week, but yeah, I think for me, I look at all the puzzle pieces, and I like to play chess, and so if other teams are playing checkers, I want to make sure I'm winning.
We obviously want to respect the opponent that we have on that day, but I think we all just know that we try to come in and not just play that opponent, but like beat that opponent, if that makes sense. Like, play to a level that's going to get us far in the tournament. And, I mean, that's what we try to come in and do. But we try to also respect, like, who we're playing. But we're, like, play them like they're Kansas, basically.
I think we remind each other of our goals so that when we're playing these teams, we know we're playing for a bigger purpose and we're training. Like, every game is an opportunity to get better.
Iowa State is 9-11 overall and 3-6 in the conference, and they come into the Schulmeyer tonight at 6:30 p.m.
I mean, I think they have a couple of their pins out, so serve and pass is going to be probably a little bit of a challenge for them, and yeah, just hopefully maybe they're battling with Baylor or just the quick turnaround is a little bit tougher for them. So I think kind of what we did tonight, if we can do that again on Friday, we should be in good shape.
Iowa State is a really good defensive team, so I'm really excited for that, and because winning long rallies is always really exciting. But I think our offense, winning the serve and pass is always number one thing that we try to do. And then after that, just putting balls away and just being relentless and going for it and having everybody's back by covering and defensively and just coming together as a team.
Good luck to our volleyball team tonight. It's a purple out and free rally towels will be handed out to all students. Now on to women's golf news. After the first 36 holes at the Charles Schwab Women's Collegiate Invitational, hosted by the Horned Frogs at Ridgely Country Club at the beginning of the week, the ladies were in 6th place, just 8 off the lead, and by the end of the final round, Angie Ravioli-Larkin's number 23 ranked team jumped up into the top 5 at number 4 and had 5 girls finish in the top 20.
Yeah, we played really solid today. Actually, the toughest conditions that we faced really all year. And, for us to shoot just a couple over today on these greens with this wind at home, it's so hard playing golf at home. They wanted to win so bad. So just that little extra pressure putting on yourself, they really responded today. We just really needed to kind of tighten some things up, just keep things simple. We faced really big challenges really well yesterday. It was just the simple things that we let go. And the wind can do that to you. 36 holes can do that to you, where you let your mind slip a little bit. And this game is this game will test every part of you, and it really did this week. So really proud of just the grit and fight that they had all week, and then today to finish so strong and jump up the leaderboard and really put ourselves in position.
Freshman Gracie McGovern was the top individual finisher and number 10 for the Frogs, shooting a 2 under 69. Moving up 8 spots to number 10, which was her first career top 10 and low 54 personal best. It was a great way to end the fall and her first season as a collegiate player.
To start off today, I was just kind of thinking like, okay, let's just try to shoot like the best under par round today. And I knew the conditions were going to be tougher today because it was way windier. So I kind of just made sure to adjust. And whenever I was clubbing myself, I was kind of like, oh, I think this is the wrong club. I think this will be too much. But I just trusted it and still hit the club. And it ended up pretty good. And then just throughout my round, I'd stayed patient and consistent, whether it was just like taking my time, not rushing, or like, you know, writing down my notes till I was ready or something like that. I just took my time. It's been good. It's been fun. My team has been the best part. They're all supportive, and they've made the journey really fun for me.
Junior Sophia Barezo-Saw, who shot an even par 71 in the final round, commented on the overall performance of the team in the event and during the fall in general.
I think it was very positive. We had a great field here. The course was playing pretty hard, to be honest. The wind was with us the whole 3 rounds, so we just had to keep it simple and play the best way that we could. And I think we finished strong for sure. And this is just good signs for the spring season. Yeah, I know this team can win a lot of tournaments. We can win tournaments, and it could have happened today. It didn't, but it will in the future again. And I'm very proud of the team and the way we handled adversity this week. Very, very good. We started at Pebble Beach, great place. I think we finished 6th. Then we won Kentucky, finished 4th in Oklahoma, win at Jim West, and now finish 4th again. I think it's been great, and team chemistry is amazing, and great things are coming.
Women's golf started the fall off at Pebble Beach, has 2 first-place finishes out of 5 events. So according to Coach Ravioli Larkin, what has she learned about her team this fall, and what does the next 2 to 3 months look like before traveling to Mexico at the end of January?
I've learned they've got great team chemistry. They've built a trust in each other like I've truly never seen before. I've learned they play with such passion and grit for themselves, for each other, for TCU. They have such pride in their university, in women's golf, our program, and what we're all about. Yeah, I've learned, I knew they were great people and great athletes, but to see them all come together as they have, week in, week out. We play great team golf. When one slips a little bit, the other one has the other one's back. We've had different people finish number 1 on the team every tournament, so it's crazy. We've got 6 players who can win a college tournament, and I've learned that from freshmen all the way to seniors. To do what we want to do, we still have to get faster, stronger, better. We've played great golf. We still haven't played our best golf. And so there's some things we need to work on. We don't call it off season. We call it op season because it's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to continue to work on things that we need to work on, and to excel and strengthen the things that we're already great at and make them better. So really these next 3 weeks is just a strong opportunity. We're going to hit the weight room hard. We're going to hit our books hard. We've missed a lot of class. And they're great students, but still just kind of playing catch up and working on mental game, keep working on our short game, our putting, and just continue to grow and get better.
Congratulations on a successful fall season for women's golf, and good luck to volleyball tonight. More TCU sports when we return.
Welcome to the Squire Shop. We are locally owned and operated since 1994. We specialize in the finest men's clothing that the market has to offer at affordable prices with unbelievable service. We do custom clothing all the way to more casual, Peter Millar, Johnny O, kind of everything. Well, my dad's the owner, so I've been around retail my whole life. Oh, it's great. I mean, it's the best boss I'll ever have. I know that. We love our TCU community. They have been so good to us. Come see us today. Go Frogs!
Welcome back, Frog fans. Men's basketball returns to the hardwood tonight in a charity exhibition against number 14 Arkansas at Dickies Arena at 7 p.m., benefiting Cook's Children's Hospital. Head coach Jamie Dixon joined our football pregame show to talk about the game.
Yeah, no, it's a new thing for us. They've kind of had it in a couple of years, and but it's going to become a little bit more regular, I think, certainly for us. It's kind of the next step in our program, convincing administration this is the thing we need to do, getting to play a really good team, Arkansas highly ranked. So we're trying to play the best teams we can in these events and get us started for the Big 12. And so it's good. We have a scrimmage. I think we're better. We're much improved from that scrimmage. And I think, hopefully we'll be healthy and we'll have all of our guys. I know they played Kansas last night and won. Yeah. So, again, those are scrimmages. I guess both teams were missing a few players. So, it's early. No less of an indicator than an exhibition game in November, October. But still something we're shooting for, and then a starting point, and then let's get it better from there.
The exhibition game will be split into 4 quarters, and Coach Dixon and Razorbacks coach John Calipari will be answering fan questions during the game as well. Go to the Dickies Arena Instagram and X to submit your questions.
Baseball concludes their fall ball tonight in Game 3 of the Purple and White World Series, today at 3:30 p.m., with the annual alumni softball game to follow at 7 p.m. Head coach Kirk Sarlo spoke about what this annual tradition of the Purple-White World Series means to the teams and how all the summer and fall work is put into this game.
Well, I think the cool thing is they're in uniform, which changes things a little bit. We had a good crowd today in terms of there's people in the stands and there's something on the line. Even though guys might not like to golf, they hate to lose. And so the worst thing you can have is to be a caddy for a teammate on the opposite team. So the goal obviously is to win so you can play golf and you don't have to lug somebody else's bag around. But it's good. The great thing is, I think, as soon as the game started, it was not about all those outside things. It was more about the competition of the game. And that was, for me, that was really good to see. Just both dugouts locked in and super excited about playing one another. And, I mean, they were locked in for all 9 innings, I thought, for sure today.
Purple has taken a 2-game lead, and it looks like they will be the golfers, with the white team carrying the bags.
Well, it means a lot. I mean, there's going to be something on the line for the winning team, in terms of, a reward for tomorrow's game. You don't want tomorrow's game in terms of their mindset of, well, fall ball's over, we've lost the series. Because what I told them, we're going to find out a lot about from the Purple team who's already won the series and has won the golf. The other team has to caddy. But now we're going to find out a lot about what they're going to show up personality-wise to try and keep their foot on the accelerator to sweep a series. And then conversely, the white team, it's basically how you're going to show up, scratching and clawing, doing whatever you can to win a game. Because that's the difference between sitting home for a regional or going on the road for a regional, is how you show up on games like that. To sweep a team or to get swept. Sunday's always, and tomorrow's, I know, Friday, but Game 3 of a series is always critical because there's one of 3 things that's happening. You're either trying to win a series, you're trying to sweep a series, you're trying not to get swept. So in my opinion, attitude is king in Game 3. And so, I challenge them to respond and see how they're going to show up tomorrow. And I'm excited to see what happens. Some of the offensive production in terms of, I thought the Purple team, what I told them out there, the Purple team was just tougher outs, tougher at bats 1 through 9 the whole day. And so what ends up happening is when you do that, you kind of put the pressure on the pitching staff. And what they did to the other team was, we had 23 free 90 bases in terms of not being able to execute pitches or play good defense, while the Purple team only had 11. And a lot of that is because of how they swung the bat and not only just got hits, but a lot of their hits were with 2 strikes, but they made the other team work to get their outs. And so it made the game a lot more difficult on the white pitching staff than it did the Purple pitching staff. So that's the big thing that I liked from the Purple side, not so much from the white pitching, but the Purple team did a really good job of just gritting out, quality at bat after quality at bat after quality at bat. And then next thing you know, the dam kind of blew open and a 7 spot and a homer, and the game kind of got out of hand at the end. But that's what happens. If you just keep putting pressure and pressure and pressure as an offense, 1 through 9, you make it tough on the opponent.
Fall ball concludes with the alumni softball game tonight at 7 p.m. And at practice this week, Sarlo's talked about yet another annual tradition.
Yeah, I'm excited because the alumni game kind of dissolved, really. It usually took place at the end of January, maybe at the beginning of February, where most of the guys that are still playing are kind of on their way to leave to go to spring training. They're not really playing because, you know, they don't want to get hurt. And so most every program around the country, the alumni game has kind of vanished. And that's disappointing because you want to have your players around other guys that wore TCU across their chest and are going through the same things that they went through. And so, you know, what we decided to do was kind of do it in the fall. And instead of playing baseball, we're going to play, you know, softball. So I think we have almost 80 or 90 guys coming back tomorrow and their families, and we're going to feed them. And so at the tail end of our inter-squad game, we're going to go into a home run derby, softball style, followed by, you know, some guys that probably haven't stretched their hamstrings in 2, 3, or 10 years, or maybe 20 years, go out there and play some softball. So it should be fun. It should be entertaining. But the main thing is just getting, you know, former players back together and around our program as much as we can.
Cross country is in Waco at the Big 12 Championships. The men have won 4 out of 5 meets and the women 3 of 5, and they look for more success today in Waco, leading into the NCAAs later this month.
Equestrian is in College Station taking on Texas A&M later this afternoon in their final game of the fall, and starting yesterday, women's tennis is hosting the J Foundation Fall Open through Sunday at the Purple Courts. The J Foundation is committed to raise awareness for mental health and suicide prevention through a simple platform called Boot Checks that teach people to check on their neighbors, friends, and loved ones. For more information, go to jfoundation.com.
We wish everyone good luck this weekend. Thanks for joining us today. Stay connected with all of TCU Athletics right here at Frogs Today. For our TCU men's tennis team, I'm Bella Tankersley.
For everyone here at Roxo Media House, for Frogs Today, I'm Olivia Tankersley. This has been Frogs Today. For Friday, November 1st, thanks for watching.
Go Frogs!
Roxo Media House.